Now before I start, I have showed these titles in one of my previous expensive videos, but right now I just want to alert you that prices for these two games are starting to go flying through the roof. So if you're out there on your game hunt, keep an eye out if you see these going for a decent bargain. First up, 3D Dot Game Heroes, a PS3 exclusive strictly for them RPG lovers. And this is what the back looks like. And I've got to say guys, as the days, weeks, months go by, the value seems to multiply. So I just want to make that absolutely clear to you guys. So as you see here, my version does come complete with all of its sumptuous paperwork. And then one thing I like about this generation, most of the time, you would have artwork on both sides of the cover art. Just check out this wonderful illustration display. And this stunning instruction booklet has electrifying images from start to finish. Just scope this out, boys and girls. Silicon Games was the developer and the godfathers of Soul Games From Software was the publisher, and this was released in 2009. Then I have a Super Famicom Holy Grail, Final Fight Tough, otherwise known as Final Fight 3 in the Western world. Now this time it's introducing some new characters, which are Lucia and Dean, and only two of the old guards remained, which were Guy and Hagar, while I think Cody had to sit this one out. Now as always, you can't have a Japanese Super Famicom game without them notorious box protectors. Absolutely needed if you want to keep this in pristine condition. Now mine is complete. I do own all of its paperwork, which we do have the cartridge tray and the cartridge, along with the AC adapter manual, which they used to provide back in the day. Look like that, only in the Japanese versions. And we got this kind of promotional card thing, which I'm not too sure what it's about, but that number does mean something. And along with the elusive instruction booklet, which is super rare to find for Final Fight Tough. And inside you'll find some wondrous artwork from the beginning all the way up until the end. Just check this out, boys and girls. Absolutely superb. Capcom were the masters at beat 'em ups, especially back in the glory days, and they were both the developer and also the publisher, and this was released in 1995. Now this will shock many people, the very first print of GTA 5 on the PS4, because right now this has entered into the expensive realm of video games, that's for sure. Because if you have a sealed copy like the one I have here, it means you are sitting on some rockstar gold. And lo and behold, who would have saw this coming? I didn't. Not in a million years. Other than that, I still got to jump back into the GTA 5 universe and retrieve my platinum on the PS3, because ain't no physical collector looking forward to GTA 6 with that silly little code in the box, that's for sure. Okay, Rockstar was both the developer and publisher, and this was released in 2013. World Heroes on the legendary Neo Geo AES, and this is what the big massive cases for the games would look like. And inside, even bigger, you will find a enormous cartridge for all of us tangible enthusiasts, that's for sure, who love to hold their games in their hands and admire. And along with that. We also love to hold our nice, bright, shiny instruction booklets, that's for sure. And this booklet is filled with illustrations inside from start to finish, giving you all the guide, all the tips and tricks that you need to be a fighting master. So this is World Heroes right here. And don't you just love these Neo Geo big boxes? They're in a league of its own, without a shadow of a doubt. Okay, Alpha Denshi was both the developer and publisher, and this was released in 1992. Here is Barbarian 2, The Dungeon of Drax for the Amstrad GX 4000. Now the game controls are absolutely awful and annoying, but for some reason it carries a nasty price tag. But let's be real, most GX 4000 software out there are extremely high due to the rarity of the system, but at least I own a few of the titles in my collection, so I'm happy in that department. Now the Amstrad did do things a little bit differently back in the glory days, because when I open the case, look at this, the cartridge pops up in the middle. So that was their trademark back then, and it was very unique, that's for sure. And it's always a bonus to have a manual sitting pretty right beside it. Palace Software were the developer, and the Movie Game King specialist Ocean was the publisher, and this was released in 1990. Next up, a sealed copy of The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild on the Wii U. Now this is stupidly overpriced for obvious reasons, and one of the reasons is Nintendo's print of the game must have been super duper low, because they were mainly focusing on their bright new shiny toy at the time, i.e. the Nintendo Switch. But yeah, if you do see this going for under £100, my advice to you is to jump on it immediately, because soon from now prices will explode and spiral out of control at any given time, trust me. Now I did recently pick up the Nintendo Switch 2 version, so as it stands right now I do own every version of the game for every system, which is pretty insane. Okay, Nintendo were both the developer and publisher, and this was released in 2017. And here is an ultimate classic, The Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time on the Nintendo 64. Now I do know a remake is soon to be released on the Nintendo Switch 2, but nothing can ever beat the original, especially when you have a Nintendo 64 box copy, which is more or less complete with all of the documentations. Got the cartridge tray, the wonderful cartridge, along with the consumer information and precaution booklet, and most importantly we have this, a bright, animated, colourful, glowing booklet. And that's all that's needed, especially with all of this glorious artwork of Link printed inside. And no matter how battered and bruised your boxes may be, never forget your box protector protection, that's for sure. Now, Nintendo were both the developer and publisher, and this was released in 1998. Next up, QT Suzuki no Ringside Angel on the Sega Mega Drive. Now this game brings back a lot of sweet memories of battling with family and friends to see who the strongest woman was to reign supreme as Queen of the Ring. Now, at the time, the graphics were state-of-the-art material, and there were so many moves, so you would have definitely needed an instruction booklet back then, and it would have applied to me, because as you see here guys, I have the Japanese copy. And the good thing about this, it highlights the buttons and also shows you the moves and diagrams inside. Just look at this guys, this manual is big, bright and beautiful. Just look at that. Triple B in the house. Absolutely outstanding stuff. All the tips and tricks would have been right in the palm of your hands. Okay, Copier was the developer and Asmic was the publisher, and this was released in 1990. Then I have Konami's Hyper Soccer on the Nintendo Entertainment System. Now this was part of the Hypersports series, and I can remember playing Hypersports on the Commodore 64 back in the day, and I can tell you that game was absolutely brutal on your fingers and just brutal in general. Very hard to master. But anyway, the Konami Hyper Soccer was actually the sequel to this, Konami Soccer, on the MSX computer, and I have my copy right here, and I have shown this before in an expensive video, and I can tell you in the year 2026 this is worth an absolute fortune. But nevertheless, at least I have a complete copy. Well, it's virtually complete, I think. Yeah, we do have all the paperwork and also the equipment right here. As you see here, guys, I virtually do have it complete, although I do think this dust cover is a counterfeit, but I'm not too sure, because normally they would have the Nintendo logo right here on the front in red, a red kind of banner slapped across it, and I think also at the back right there. But this might also be genuine, I'm not too sure, like I say, because maybe later in the NES's lifespan they stopped producing that kind of design of the dust covers and changed it to just this black plain kind of finish. We never know. But nevertheless, main thing is I do own the cartridge that is genuine in all of its glory, along with a silky silver shiny manual. Fortunately, no life inside. It was all in black and white. At least we got some sort of paperwork. So that's what it would have looked like back in the day, guys. A complete version of the game. Okay, Konami was both the developer and publisher, and this was released late into the NES's generation in the year 1992. And last but never least, Pokemon Mysterious Dungeon Explorers of the Sky. The title seemed like it went on for days, and try and say that with your mouthful. Anyway, this was an enhanced version of Explorers of Time and Explorers of Darkness. So basically, this game is the definitive version. Now this is what you call CIB without any corners being cut, because inside you'll find the Nintendo club card. Looks like that. Got the barcode. And how does it open? Looks like that. On touch, guys. And then we have the product manual. Show you all the up and coming titles in the future and the present right there. And then you will have the Nintendo Wi-Fi connection manual, and then we will have the health and safety and precaution booklet, and then most importantly, guys, we have this, a highly decorated manual from front to back, and with all this lively artwork printed inside. Just take a look at that. All them rich, vibrant colours just flying off every single page from start to finish. Fantastic stuff. So there it is, guys. If you want to know what a complete copy of the game looks like. There it is right in front of you. Okay guys, another 10 games in my collection which are worth an absolute fortune. Okay, if you like the video, give me a thumbs up. Even better, subscribe. Till next time, see ya.